Yo! What's happening? It's the Victor Wilt Show. Pleased to announce that I did not break my Galaxy projector when I knocked it off of the counter. Just trying to turn it on. You know, discovered yesterday that Peaches gets very upset that he has to pick up a remote control and turn it off at the end of the day. It's very difficult, you know. So that encouraged me to turn it on first thing when I got here. Along with the other thing, there's two remotes that you have to push power on to turn the lights off. And they're sitting like right next to the lights, right behind me. Oh, Peaches. Anyway, morning and happy. It's only Tuesday. This feels like the longest week of all time. And today, probably going to be an extra long one as well, isn't it? Yeah. Election day. All right. Get out and vote. Okay, I said I would find out what time the polls open, but I was checking my stuff here. Idaho poll times. Let's see here. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. would appear to be the hours that the polls are open. So what that means is you got all day. You got a 12-hour window to get out and vote. So if you've got to work at 10, get out early. If you get off at 5, hit it up after work. You can go to vote.gov to get all of your information. You can go to voteidaho.gov to get more localized information. But get out and do your part. Every vote does count, especially when it comes to our local elections. Very important. We got a lot of different local races going on. We've got local initiatives. And of course, you've got the presidential election. So get out and vote. You know, I've talked to a number of people. I've never voted before. Well, there's a first time for everything, and it's easy. You just bring your ID and some kind of proof of residency to the polls. If you're not registered, they'll get you registered at the polls, and bam, you do your vote, and you'll feel good afterward. And then, I don't know, this evening, we could start seeing results from the East Coast at like 6 o'clock, maybe. I don't know what to expect this election, but I hope we get some answers in a reasonable amount of time. I mean, chances are pretty good we're not going to know anything tonight, but I know this guy's going to be up late just in case. I can't help myself. I couldn't get to bed last night, and it was just a normal evening. Got the pre-election jitters going on, I guess. Anyway, try to not get too anxious today. No matter what, it's all going to be okay, everybody. Or so we hope. But do your part. Get out and vote. All right? You can do it. And now that nothing's broken in here, I can start getting together the 10 million things I need to do today. Exhausting. Exhausting this week. Anyhow, don't go anywhere. It's going to be a tough day today. You know, digging through everything going on in the news where it's election day and everyone is crazed. There ain't a lot floating around out there that doesn't have anything to do with the election. So I'm going to do my best to just babble on about anything aside from that, though I will be reminding people repeatedly to get out and vote. So my buddy Nick and I were going to be going to a show in Vegas. And, you know, I'm very excited about this. We decided to do so many months ago. It's the Beat Tour. If you're a music nerd, this is like, you know, the ultimate show for a total music nerd. You've got Danny Carey of Tool, Adrian Belew, Tony Levin, both formerly, or maybe currently, I don't know, it's hard to tell, of King Crimson, and then legendary guitarist Steve Vai, performing King Crimson songs from the 80s. It's going to be wild. It's going to be just so progressively nerdy as far as the prog rock goes. Doesn't get much nerdier than King Crimson. The problem is, usually Vegas is a very cheap place to go on vacation. But there's some kind of a big car show happening this weekend called SEMA. And So the hotel rates are like 10 times higher than they would normally be, which made it very difficult to figure out where we're going to stay. And I'd been beating my head against the wall about this for quite a while, and I finally caved yesterday, and I don't know if this is a good choice. All right? We booked Circus Circus. And Circus Circus, I think, is known as one of the worst hotels on the Las Vegas Strip. But I'm not even going to say the price was right, because it wasn't. The price was not right. It was outrageous. But in comparison to the other options, it was about the best we could do. So I'm hoping we don't regret it. But gonna stay at the legendary Circus Circus Hotel and Casino. Oh, what a dumpster fire it could be. You ever seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? Yeah, there's a moment in that film where Hunter S. Thompson visits Circus Circus, and it's a nightmarish experience for him, though he was a little out there at the time. So, I don't know, I'll report back. I'll give a full, maybe video review, because I saw a bunch of videos on YouTube staying in the worst hotel in Vegas. After watching the videos, I'm like, these people might just be really picky. I mean, I've stayed in some real dumps before. You know, like the Low Quality Inn in Salt Lake that Jade and I stayed in. Circus Circus has to be better than that, right? I don't know. Anyway, that's what I got coming up. I hope, again, that I don't regret it. Maybe I'll look around today, see if there's any other options that seem reasonable. I think I can still cancel. I don't know. Wish me luck, people. Wish me luck. So last night, I decided time to do some chores. Time to sweep and mop. I don't know why that chore takes me so long to get motivated to do. But anyhow, finally got around to it, and I threw on some music while I was doing so. That being the new album from the band Neon Nightmare. You may have heard them during our Halloween season. They sound exactly like Typo Negative. The album was really good. Really good. I was very impressed with it. So if you're a Typo Negative fan, highly recommend you check out Neon Nightmare. I mean, it's not Typo, but it's as close as we're going to get. And the songs were very well done. Production really good. Anyhow, I got wondering, I'm like, who is in this band? And I know Typo's manager. So I sent him a message on Facebook. I'm like, hey, come on. I had messaged him about this previously, and he like didn't say much. So last night I'm like, dude, come on. I know you know something about this band. Give me the scoop. And he didn't respond. Then I Googled today, and apparently it's the frontman from Spirit Adrift, according to Metal Injection. And I don't know if he did everything on it, but he made it sound that way. Guy named Nate Garrett. So now I feel kind of bad, like, hey, come on, Mark, I know you know the scoop. And he's probably like, dude, it's just a fan of Typo doing their thing. Like, settle down, buddy. Thankfully, he didn't respond like, dude, shut up. But anyway, you should check him out. I thought it was a really good album. Neon Nightmare. I forget the name of the album itself, but they only have one album. So if you find them on streaming, there you go. Did you know it's election day? Get out and vote. You can register at the polls day of in Idaho. Get that ID, get a proof of residency, get to the polls. They open at 8 o'clock, go until 8 p.m. tonight. Get out and do it. Let's see some record turnout. Come on. All right. Not a lot going on in the news today aside from, the old election stuff. Going to be a very interesting next few days, I think. Perfect time for me to take a couple days off, I think, which I will be doing later this week. So, looking forward to that. Tired today. Anyhow, I got more coffee. Do whatever I got to do to power on through. Hey, friendly reminder, if you ever want to catch up on any of the shows here at Riverbend Media Group, all of our shows now available on demand everywhere podcasts can be found. my show, Peach's show, Traffic School, and all of the other DJs in the building as well. Josh and Chantel, Justin Pierce, Katie Lee. Yeah, just fire up your favorite platform for finding podcasts and search for the show, or go to riverbendmediagroup.com and you can listen to them at your convenience at any time of the day. So, if you don't happen to wake up at the time I do my 6 o'clock hour, you can catch up on whatever you've missed. And sometimes it's pretty good. Sometimes it's not, because, I'm waking up, but sometimes it's pretty good. So if you do find the podcast, give it a rating, follow it, subscribe, and appreciate your support. Also find us on all the socials. Why can't I say socials? Jeez. YouTube, we've been doing a lot of YouTube content. KBear101 RMG on YouTube. Recommend bringing that up. Subscribing there as well. Follow us everywhere we do stuff. We're trying to expand out and do more content aside from just these radio shows. So, yeah, support us. I mean, you're supporting right now by listening, and I'm grateful for that, but check out some of the other stuff we do. All right. If you have any requests or anything, by the way, you can call me, 208-535-1015. It's truly getting to the point that we can't believe anything online, apparently. I was reading about these folks in Dublin, Ireland. Last week, all excited for this big Halloween parade. Yeah, had been advertised online, appeared to be legitimate, had reviews and photos from past parades, claimed to be organized by an Irish performance group called Macnas, which has put on these parades in the past. Well, they showed up, lots and lots of people, hundreds of people. No parade, nothing, just an empty street, just somebody's online prank. Come out to the Halloween parade. All right, kids, we're going to get out. We're going to go see the Halloween parade. That's a pretty rude online prank. I mean, I'm not a big fan of parades, but, if you're a family heading out to do something, you show up and it's just nothing. I just, again, think that's kind of rude. And, I mean, as time goes on, we're, with the AI stuff, just going to start seeing more and more absolutely ridiculous things online. So, I don't know how to prevent this one. I don't want to say if you see an event online, don't believe in it. But I don't know, maybe if it's something that's never happened before and they're showing photos from the past and you're like, I'm pretty sure this has never happened. You might want to just stay home and give out candy. Hey, don't let anybody shame you for being what they're calling a kidult. That's an adult who buys toys for themselves. Yeah, video games and fun stuff. What's wrong with that? You got to keep yourself mentally young somehow. Video games, good for the mind, good exercise. Yeah, hand-eye coordination, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you could also read books. But, if you find something that you're into, maybe it's, straight up collectible toys. That makes you happy. You be you. You just go for it, all right? Apparently, adults spend $7 billion on toys for themselves each year. I'd say money probably well spent, all right? Have a little bit of fun. 40 is the new 20, right? I wish I felt old. But, yeah, I am all down with people just enjoying their lives. And if, a retro Ninja Turtle brings you some joy, who cares what people think about you, right? Just make yourself happy, all right? Thought about buying a video game myself recently. It's like, dude, you're just going to go back and play Red Dead again anyway. Stop buying video games. Talked about wild boars before. They're kind of taking over all kinds of different areas of the country. Not just a problem in the U.S. either. Apparently over in Korea, got these people just kind of waiting to get on the train, and all of a sudden a wild boar comes rampaging through the railway station, backs a guy into a bathroom, and just attacks him, chews his arm all up. Ugh. His wounds looked grody. Jeez. Anyway, they were eventually able to, I guess, the cops showed up and had to shoot the boar. I mean, it was messing things up. You know, this is a 220-pound wild boar, and it's a bad day at the train station. Yikes. I complain about air travel, but haven't had that kind of issue. You know, just TSA being annoying. Speaking of pigs, there's a story making the rounds about a pet pig breaking into the garage and getting drunk on the owner's beer. Okay. Guess they forgot about cases of beer in their garage until the pig broke in and just started chewing into cans. Looks like it had some fat tire. And it's okay now. It's okay, but if you have pigs, because I talked about pigs the other day, they'll eat just about anything. They'll eat people. Yeah, you got to keep your beer put away if you've got a pet pig, apparently. Anything that could be potentially harmful. I mean, pigs are supposed to be pretty smart, right? So hopefully they wouldn't mow down, something straight poisonous, but I don't know, maybe pigs just really dig fat tire. I don't know. It is such a slow news day, people. You wouldn't believe how hard I'm trying to find content here. Been a while since I worked on a presidential election day. Been about 4 years, and I remember it being pretty rough back then. Some guy rented a Cybertruck and used it as a battering ram to attack a package thief. Yeah, this is when you just call the cops, okay? Like the story yesterday of the guy who tried to chase down some, people that were running through the neighborhood. So he jumped in a golf cart with an AR-15 and just started blasting off rounds. Turns out he was shooting at the cops. Just let them handle things, okay? You're going to get in trouble if you run over a package thief with any type of vehicle. And you're going to make the news if you do it with a Cybertruck, because for whatever reason, Cybertruck makes the news. Yeah, you probably can't deal with theft that way. It doesn't quite seem like eye for an eye. I know it's frustrating. Your packages get stolen, but sorry, you can't just kill people. The guy lived, he's fine, but could be dead. I mean, the Cybertrucks are big. I drove one day. I would imagine you run somebody down with one. They pick up speed fast. You can mess somebody up pretty good, all right? Freak News powered by Grease Monkey, voted Idaho's best oil change. Happy Election Day, Peaches.
Happy Election Day to you, too, even though we both voted.
We both did vote early, but you may not have voted yet. And I've got good news. The polls just opened 4 minutes ago. So you can get out and vote right now. You've got till 8 p.m. to get out and do that voting.
There's somebody on the corner over here just waving the American flag, pointing at cars.
All right.
Wearing a particular red hat.
All right. I'm
Made
not
me
surprised.
laugh. I'm just watching this guy. It's like, who thinks about this? Like, it's 8 a.m. Let me go outside and wave the flag.
People who are really into it. It's cold out there, though.
He's wearing a thick flannel and jeans, so.
I was going to say, I don't want to go stand in the cold right now. By the way, if you're going to go vote, there are electioneering laws in Idaho, so don't show up at the polls wearing any political gear or they will make you leave.
I was just about to mention that, too. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of stories of people posting in Life in Idaho Falls, I couldn't vote because I wore my so-and-so shirt.
Yeah, there have been a variety of stories already making the rounds of people getting in physical confrontations with poll workers because they showed up wearing things they weren't supposed to and were told to come back after they take it off. So don't be that guy. You'll make the national news and be an embarrassment to your family and community if you get in a fight with a poll worker. And poll workers got to be a stressful thing. They're volunteers. As far as I know, they're not like being paid to be there. They're doing it out of the kindness of their heart, and it's a stressful thing to deal with. So be nice to them, okay? Be a reasonable, rational human being. Go get your voting done, and you can register day of. Just bring a proof of residency, something like a utility bill, as well as your ID. If you haven't registered yet, good news. You can register at the polls and, do it on your lunch break or ask your boss, hey, can I run over to the polls real quick and do my voting? All of my previous employers have let me run over and do some voting. I'm sure our bosses here would let me as well. Yeah.
Right. It's like your right to do so.
Yeah. I mean, you might have an unreasonable boss, but you've got a 12-hour window here. You got from now till 8 p.m. to get over and vote. It's easy. It's fast. And, I would love to see record turnout because turnout pretty much always sucks, especially you young people. You young people, what are you doing? I voted in every election since I turned 18. Yeah? If I can do it, so can you, because it's not hard. Unless you don't know how to use a pen. I don't know. If you struggle with pens, voting could be difficult because you need to fill in a box.
There's a lot of iPad kids out there now.
I know. So you might want to practice before you go. Get a pen out and just practice staying in the lines and filling in a little tiny box. But it's pretty easy. It's nothing to be worried about. And it's going to be a long, interesting day. Hopefully, nobody around here gets too out of control. Because I don't like having to do freak news stories that are local. Because somebody always knows the people.
Yeah, but you can't do that, right? Because it's like, somebody's going to call in and be like, that's my dad. How could you say that about him?
It's happened before when people have done...
Which technically, all serial killers, that's somebody's son. I mean, you could say...
I suppose so.
That's somebody's daughter, that's somebody's son. You can say that about everybody.
Depending on the level of stupid, I will talk about it on the show. But I have had people call and go, that was my uncle, man. Come on. I'm like, well, what do you expect me to do? Look what they did. That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Come on. I need content for this program. So anyhow, polls are open. Get out and vote, people. You can do it. All right, we've all seen these lists of the greatest guitarists of all time. You usually got Hendrix at the top, and then who knows who else sprinkled throughout. But who do you not see on there very often? Well, according to Billy Corgan, he was recently interviewed by Guitar World, and I guess was complaining that he doesn't get nearly enough recognition when they throw together these lists of the greatest guitarists. He's like, most people don't even recognize my contributions as a guitar player. They don't even assume I'm the one playing a lot of the guitar. So he says, I don't usually make the lists, or they'll put me behind somebody who I could play circles around. I don't mean to denigrate the person in front of me or the people in front of me, but come on, I'm enough of a guitar player to know who's a great guitar player. All right, I don't know. I think, from my experience, the very best guitarists I know are very humble. And I don't think they'd come out and complain about not being on a list. Like, I think that I write really cool riffs. All right? I do. I'm very proud of my riffage. But even if I became a rock superstar, I would never expect to be on a list of good guitarists. Because I can't rip out them awesome leads. Just can't do it. But I can write a riff. I'll tell you what. You want to have a riff battle, an original riff battle? Let's do this. Let's do this. Anyway, good luck to Billy. Or I thought he wanted to be called William Corgan. What happened to that? He's back in the news as just Billy. Well, anyway, one of these days you'll end up on the list, Billy. And who cares? You write good songs. That's all you got to worry about, man. You're doing all right. Hey, what's happening? Welcome to the Victor Wiltz Show. Polls are open. Get out and vote. You will hear that from me more than once today. Register at the polls. Bring a ID and proof of residency. If you're not already registered, you can register at the polls in Idaho. Get your vote on. Polls are open right now, and they will be open till 8 p.m. tonight, so plenty of time to get out and vote. And, like I mentioned earlier, talking to people who have never voted before, well, there's a first time for everything. Would love to see record voter turnout, so get out and do your voting. I've been talking with a lot of callers about political stuff. I don't tend to do that on air. But, it's been fun. And one thing that I've got to say is I enjoy having a reasonable political discussion with somebody. And I really think that just talking to someone face to face is how you make all the difference in the world when it comes to these kind of discussions. Online discussions in, social media comment sections and things, you can't get across, how you're saying something. The emphasis in your words sometimes. And so it leads to unhealthy discussions on social media. I hope we can get back to a point where people can have reasonable political discussions, even when they disagree, and walk away friends. I've had a bunch of them recently with people I totally disagree with. Could not disagree further with them on politics, but we're still homies. All right? And that's how it should be. I got kind of curious because I had a couple people this morning mention to me, gas prices. Something that gets people pretty worked up, gas prices. And, you always hear, well, the election's rolling in, so gas prices are going down, see, you see what they do. They lower the gas price. I'm pretty sure the president, no matter what side they're on, they can't really control the gas prices. There's so many different factors that go into why gas costs what it does. But I brought up a chart that showed the annual average gas price since the year 2000, and they break it down year by year. And it's interesting to see because, when you go back that far, 25 years ago, essentially, especially if you're me, I don't remember. I always remember that back when I first started driving as a teenager, gas prices were way lower. But the graph was kind of interesting to look at because it goes against what you tend to hear some of the time with, prices always come down at the election. I don't know if that's the case because looking at George Bush, gas prices started off in 2001 pretty low. Wow. Can you imagine gas being an average of like $1.50? How amazing would that be? But then it went up and up and up and up. And by the end of his 8 years, was sitting at a pretty high peak of about $3.30 a gallon. I think we're sitting at around, $3 right now? $3.10, somewhere in there here in East Idaho. So then you go to 2009, Obama. And what's funny is all the presidents after this point follow a pattern where the gas prices are low at the beginning, then they go up, then they come back down. In the article where I found this graph, they kind of get into the reasons why, it can deal with things like oil production overseas, blah, blah, blah. But so, with Obama, his first year, the gas prices were pretty low, about $2.40 a gallon. Then they went way up in the middle, and then they went back down by the end of his term, down to about $2.25. So over the 8-year span, kind of saw something similar to George Bush. So then you've got the 4-year term of Donald Trump, where gas prices started off at about $2.50 a gallon, got up to about $2.80 and then came back down into that, similar to where Obama was at the end of his term at around $2.26. Then the pandemic hits, and then the Biden years, we did see the same kind of pattern here, where they started off kind of low, go really high, and then they start coming back down. So, I don't know. It comes down to when you think back over time, you seem to always remember the good parts, like me remembering gas being under $1 when I started driving, and remembering moments when gas was cheap. But I certainly recall, with all 4 of the last presidents, times where gas prices were completely outrageous. So, I don't know. I don't personally think that they can really do anything about that. Just in my opinion on looking at this graph, since they all seem to suffer from the same, the same little rise and fall. It's pretty consistent. So, I don't know. I just wanted to throw it out there because I had talked with a variety of people about gas prices this morning, and I got curious. I'm like, okay, well, I don't remember. What was it like every year? And Yeah, it's kind of all over the place. So from what I can see here, if the president has power over gas prices, all 4 of the last ones screwed us because they certainly didn't keep it low and flat their entire term. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to find a different metric for determining who to vote for. I already voted, though. So, anyway, get out and vote. It's Election Day. Polls are open till 8 p.m. Do your research on the candidates. You know, local candidates, it can be a little bit more difficult to find information. I would love to see in our next election our local candidates being a lot more involved with social media activity and making information easily accessible. As I was researching local candidates, I was very amazed at how difficult it is to just find simple information on policies. You could sit down and listen to an hour interview with East Idaho News, but just put up a website for your campaign and put your positions on it. Why is this that difficult? If anybody needs a social media, what am I looking for here? Social media director or something. That's what I do at work, to help you just set up basic information online to help out voters. I'd be glad to give you just easy tips. It won't take long. Because I think a lot of people feel like they're completely disconnected from their candidates, especially on the local level, because there's no way to really get to know them. If I was running for office, there would be endless videos of me out online talking about what I want to do and blah, 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 so that people could get to know me as a human being. That makes a huge difference. It's like when I've talked about bands I've made fun of in the past, and then I meet them in person, and it totally changes my perception. That human connection, it's really important, and it just blows my mind as somebody who's voted since I was 18. It's always crazy difficult to find just basic information on local candidates, as well as, just maybe a video of them just talking like a normal human being. Because I don't want to, I don't connect with people doing speeches. I want to know what you're actually like. That's just me. Peaches had a listener Snapchat him. Why is Victor talking about politics on Election Day? Come on. It's Election Day. And I didn't get into any kind of opinion. I'm not out here, swaying anybody in any particular direction. Peaches.
We're going politics free during the afternoon show. Okay. If you want to avoid that, listen to me.
Well, it's Election Day, so encouraging people to get out and vote is going to happen. It's going to happen on my show today. Polls are open. But the last break I did was funny because I've been talking to callers all morning. And so, the discussion with multiple came up about gas prices, got curious, pulled up a chart, and I was like, oh, gas prices follow a similar pattern with all presidents, at least going back to the year 2000. I was like, that's interesting. So I threw that out there, just, it's simply a fact. Hey, chill out on, throwing that around, because it's the same thing every election. And, regardless of who it is. And I said that if presidents have power over gas prices, all of them have been screwing us over. Bush, Obama, Trump, and Biden. So how is that taking a political angle by saying all of them, if they control gas, screw us over? What my conclusion was they probably don't have any power over
that. I saw your suggestion for the Peach Their Own today to keep it topical about ranking the presidents, and I was like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
I bet we'd get a lot of action on that post. That's pretty funny.
Surprisingly, yesterday was one of the most popular questions I've ever had. If you had a pet duck, what would you name it? And the whole entire time during that hour, the phone was lit up. All
right. See, sometimes the dumber the question, the better it's going to be for content. But you listeners, settle down. Don't be Snapchatting Peaches saying I'm on a political tirade, because that was not a political tirade.
I don't know. Sometimes you go a little bit off the rails. Victor Limbaugh over here.
Victor Limbaugh, that's right. Hello, everybody. I would love to go on a political tirade. I think it would be fun, but I've never done that. I have never went on a political tirade on air.
Some of these LA radio shows, they get away with a whole lot of stuff. Around here, it's like, man, if I say the word that's extreme to darn, oh, whoa.
Well, the thing is here, because I talked about this a few minutes ago, I think we should all be able to get along. I think we should be able to have political discussions with people we completely disagree with and walk away friends. I do it all the time with people that I think they're completely unhinged and crazy, but I still like them as people, just disagree on that.
Right.
And that we're still friends. But we've gotten to this point where everybody's very almost tribal about it. It's very strange. So we need to get back to the point where we can be reasonable human beings.
Yeah, I hate seeing those posts that are like, I like this guy. Now unfollow me if you don't agree with that. Yeah, it's like, what are you talking like?
Totally.
Alienating your followers.
Again, so I wouldn't jump on air and do a political tirade because
you would.
Some people would take what I say and would do that. They'd go, well, I'm not talking to him ever again because of the way his belief.
Look what somebody did about my little jokes on about everybody from Idaho is dumb. The whole thing on Reddit.
Yeah, people get mad about these things, even if you're, just joking around or expressing an opinion. So I'm not going to do it because people are just too crazy now. But I just ultimately hope people can learn to get along and that discussions are good. That's how ideas evolve and advance and we move forward by, having discussions, not screaming at each other, not cutting each other out and ignoring each other and living in a bubble. We all work together and talk to each other.
I was thinking, what if Lou Brutus just goes off the rails tonight?
He could.
On hard drive. We have no idea.
I don't think he would because he's,
It would be hilarious.
Lou knows that he broadcasts into various markets. It's like if I pull up the map and I look at who's listening to the show right now. It's people all around the country and all around the world. I don't know who I'd be making angry if I went on a political tirade. So, yeah. Discussion of the history of gas prices is not a political tirade, especially since I trashed all of them and concluded ultimately they don't control that.
Which former president would you ever like to meet in person? If they could bring them back, Teddy Roosevelt.
I don't know if I'd want to meet Teddy Roosevelt.
I feel like you and Lincoln would get along pretty well.
Me and Lincoln?
Yeah.
I don't know what president I'd want to meet.
Taft.
And actually,
you guys are both similarly shaped.
I do know what president I'd want to meet, but I'm not going to say it because people will get mad. Because if you pick one, they're going to go, oh, I see what side he's on.
I'm just going way back in time. It'd be funny.
Yeah,
For me to meet like James Madison, who's like 5'3", or whoever that short president was from back in the day.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd want to meet more modern presidents.
Grover Cleveland.
I don't want to be talking about, this new modern thing, electricity. I don't know. It'd be a boring discussion talking with old politicians. Have you heard about the automobile?
You're like, I'm going to choose Richard Nixon so I can poke at his jowls. I'm Robert Cook.
Yeah. You've heard what I say about politicians. There's not very many I would actually want to talk to, period. So.
You and Jimmy Carter?
Jimmy Carter. I don't think he's talking too much nowadays. He
looks dead. He does not look like he's alive.
But I bet that the photo that makes there's definitely better photos of him. You know how the news media works.
Yeah, but it's like when you're dragging some guy around whose mouth is open and he can't move, and it's like he's 100 years old.
Hey, your brain can still work even if you're basically incapacitated.
Well, it's like when you had Mia in their later years and she's just limping around the house, falling over. You're like, okay, this cat's clearly in pain.
Yeah, and she had meds and stuff, and it finally became her time at one point.
Right.
But, anyway, everybody just try to get along today. And that was not a tirade, Cal. Don't be giving me no grief,
He just
buddy.
Snapchatted me again, so I can't wait what he has to say.
Well, here, I'll turn your mic off. I want to know. He said he was joking. He used naughty language, so I'm glad we turned the mics off.
Yeah, loyal listener, Cal. He's an awesome dude.
He is.
He listens to us all day, so yeah.
I just worry.
Throw on some Lorna Shore for him if you could.
Do people actually think I was on a tirade? I'll show you a tirade. No, I won't. All right, we'll get him some Lorna Shore here in a few. So earlier I talked about how I'm going to Vegas soon. Has anybody listening recently, in the last few years, stayed at Circus Circus. All right? This weekend in Vegas, they got this car show called SEMA going on. And it's, I guess, like the biggest thing for cars ever. And room rates were absurd. Usually Vegas, very cheap place to stay. Get a nice room for a really good price. That wasn't happening. So after much Googling, reading through reviews and things for the cheaper options available, I decided, okay, let's give Circus Circus a shot. All right? It's not known to be a great place to stay, but the reviews go back and forth online. You got to review it as a cheap place. You know, you can't roll in expecting, like, oh, this is, you know, a room at the Bellagio or something. No, this is a cheap as it gets kind of place. And I mean, I ain't too worried. I've stayed in some real dumps. Jade and I went to the Low Quality Inn in Salt Lake City a couple years ago, and that had to be the worst hotel I'd ever stayed in. It was terrible. So I don't know if you just have any type of Circus Circus tips for me. I figure it'll be an interesting place. You know, it's weird. If you've ever seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, you know, Hunter S. Thompson's reaction to that place was something else, but he was, you know, a little off kilter there. I just don't know what to expect. Usually there are a lot of very nice options for a good price, but I ain't going to spend $400 on any hotel. I'd go stay out in the middle of the desert somewhere if that's what it came down to, but be nice to be in town. So Circus Circus it is. And I can report back with my honest opinion of the place once I get back or while I'm there. But again, you know, compared to some of the places I'm staying at, it would have to be really bad for me to go, wow, this place is terrible. So I guess we just got to wait and see. Maybe I got to do the $20 sandwich trick. You heard about this? I did this once at the Excalibur in New York. Not in New York. It's right next to the New York casino. So anyway, what you do is when they ask for your ID at check-in and your credit card, you like fold up like a 20, stick it in between your stuff and be like, hey, do you have any complimentary upgrades available? And they did give me a nice strip view room. I don't know what the top tier room at Circus Circus is, but also due to the price of the room, it's like, is $20 even going to get me anywhere? Thought about doing it because I don't want to end up, you know, in some room infested with like cockroaches and bed bugs. I don't know. Hopefully it'll be okay. Unless somebody wants to kick down a free hotel room gift card. I guess I'm stuck. So anyway, yeah, I'll let you know what's going down in Vegas. It sounds like it's going to be a zoo. But at least I get to go see a nerdy prog rock show, so that'll be fun. Thank you again for tuning in to The Victor Welch Show. This program is a production of Riverbend Media Group. To contact the show or for more information, hit us up at riverbendmediagroup.com.